Good afternoon, everyone. Today is January 15th, 2025, and welcome back to the Daily Donald. We've got a fascinating topic to dive into, one that's been brewing for decades, but is now finally taking center stage. That's right, we're talking about the FDA's recent decision to ban red dye number 3 in food and medications. But wait, this is more than just a story about food coloring. It's about history, science, politics, and a potential shift in how America handles health and safety. So hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, and drop a comment below with your thoughts as we unravel this colorful controversy. Let's start with a bit of history. Red dye number 3, or erythrocine, has been a staple of the American food and drug industry since the mid-20th century. Derived from petroleum, this vibrant additive quickly became a go-to for candies, medications, and even snack foods. Remember those neon marshmallow peeps or colorful ring pops? Yep, they owe their bright hues to this very dye. But here's the catch. While it was celebrated for its visual appeal, concerns about its safety began emerging as far back as the 1960s. Studies showed links to thyroid cancer in lab rats, and by 1990, the FDA had banned its use in cosmetics and topical drugs. Strangely, it was still allowed in foods and ingestible medications. Why? We'll get into that in a bit. Now here's where it gets interesting. The US has been lagging behind many other countries when it comes to banning harmful food dyes. In Europe, red dye number 3 is heavily restricted, only approved for specific uses like cocktail cherries. In South Korea, most synthetic dyes are banned outright for foods targeting kids and teens. So why did it take the FDA this long to act? Critics point to a combination of industry lobbying, slow-moving bureaucracy, and conflicting scientific studies. For decades, manufacturers argued that the amounts used in food were too small to harm humans. But with mounting pressure from advocacy groups in states like California taking the lead with local bans, the tide finally began to turn. Fast forward to 2025, what finally pushed the FDA to ban red dye number 3? According to reports, it was the culmination of years of advocacy from groups like the Environmental Working Group and the Center for Science in the Public Interest. These organizations filed petitions citing studies linking food dyes to behavioral issues like ADHD in children and renewed concerns about cancer risks. The tipping point may have been the incoming administration. President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has been outspoken about cracking down on harmful additives. He's called food dyes a silent epidemic impacting public health. So, is this a sign of things to come under the new administration? Let's discuss. Now you might be wondering, what does this mean for your pantry or medicine cabinet? Red dye number 3 is currently used in over 2,800 products, from popular candies like Fruit by the Foot and Pez to medications like Tylenol PM and ADHD treatments like Vyvanse. Manufacturers have until 2027 for food and 2028 for medications to phase out the dye. While some companies are already reformulating their products, others are expected to resist, citing cost and supply chain challenges. Let's dive deeper into the political angle. RFK Jr., a longtime advocate for stricter food safety regulations, seems poised to make big changes at the FDA. This ban could be just the beginning of a larger overhaul targeting other controversial additives like yellow number 5 or artificial sweeteners. Supporters argue that these moves are long overdue, putting public health above corporate profits. Critics, however, warn that sudden regulatory shifts could disrupt industries and lead to higher costs for consumers. Here's an intriguing question. Is this ban a clean break from the previous administration's approach to food safety? Some speculate that the outgoing administration had been downplaying risks to avoid backlash from food and pharma industries. The timing of this ban, just days before the inauguration, feels like a deliberate step to align with the incoming administration's stricter stance on public health. So what's next? Could this ban spark a domino effect? Many believe it's just the start. Advocates are now calling for action against other synthetic dyes and additives, pushing for cleaner labels across the board. Meanwhile, manufacturers will likely face increased scrutiny as consumers demand transparency. As expected, reactions are pouring in. Parents and health advocates are celebrating the ban as a major victory for public health. On the flip side, Industry groups argue the science isn't conclusive enough to justify such sweeping changes. What do you think? Is this a win for consumers, or are we entering an era of overregulation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. To wrap things up, this ban on red dye number 3 could mark a turning point in how America handles food safety. Will it lead to a cleaner, healthier food system, or will the backlash from industries stall further progress? Only time will tell. That's all for today's Daily Donald. Thanks for joining us as we unpack the colorful and controversial story of red dye number 3. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And hey, let us know in the comments, what's your take on the FDA's decision? Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.